All right, yeah, so it looks like this is going to be a two order set example here, right? So there's going to be two profit targets, basically. Yeah, so let me wipe that clean and let's start over here. So yeah, let's say we have two profit targets, right? We're going to have two different profit targets. There. Something like that. And so the question is, can the stop loss, right, for the second contract, yeah, can the trailing of the stop loss, can it be delayed until, yeah, so I take it, yeah, you want to probably, Scott, I think you want to delay the stop loss until after it moves to break even. And yeah, we can do that. So I mean, you can do this either way you want. You can wait until the market moves to break even. So like your first comment here is you want to trigger the stop loss trailing once price has moved past break even, or the other thing is here you want to move the stop loss to break even when target 1 gets hit. So you can do both ways. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the beauty of BlackBird is, you can do it either way you want here. So, yeah, I'll go with probably the most common scenario question that I get asked here, which is let's move the stop loss to break even when the first profit target gets hit, and then the stop loss will start trailing your EMA 17. So let's see, how do I want to do this? I'm just going to start from scratch. All right, so let's just start with a 10-tick stop loss here. Right, so just a fixed 10-tick stop loss, and then we'll go into the trailing actions and we'll add in some trailing rules here. All right, so let's see, let's do, we'll move to break even when profit target A is hit. All right, so to do that, we're going to use a trigger, and we want to monitor the order status changed. Right, so which order are we monitoring? Well, it's the profit target, right? We want to know when that profit target gets filled. So we're going to select the profit target for A, right? So it says profit target for A. So that's going to be, right, this profit target over here for order set A. And we want to know when it's filled. So when that happens, in the action, we're going to move the stop loss. Well, we don't want to move it to the last price, right? That'll get the stop loss filled. We want to move it to the entry price, right? Entry price is the same thing as break even, right? And there we go. So there is no repeat, right? Because when you move a stop loss to break even, that's a one-time event, right? You can't move a stop loss to break even twice. Once it's there, it's there. So, all right. And so then the next trailing rule here. All right. So it wants to trail the EMA 17 after a break even, right? After the break even has occurred. So what we're going to do is, again, our trigger, we can just simply, again, use this, order status changed, and there you go, select the profit target for A, and then the action will be, right, to move the order to a indicator value. And so for here, we'll plug in that EMA 17 period. There you go. There's the EMA 17 period. There we go. And so this is, this trailing rule, is an actual trailing, does actual trailing, right? It's you want it to constantly follow that EMA. So we need to set the repeat to indefinitely, right? And there you go. And since it's an indicator, indicators only update once per bar, so we'll just leave the repeat to every bar. There we go. Call it good. Yeah, so with that, here, let me complete the picture here. All right, we'll click OK. And let's close that out. And let's put the EMA on the chart. There we go. There's our EMA. And actually here, let me get Bloodhound off the chart here. So I'm going to reload this to get Bloodhound off. There. Okay, there we go. All right, let's move the market up. And so I'll go long. All right, so there's our 10-tick stop loss. Oh, this is good here. Yeah, I'm glad this is happening here. So note, just make a mental note here that the EMA is below our entry, right? EMA is below our break even, or the entry price. Hopefully it will stay down here just to show what's going to happen with the stop loss trailing. There we go. All right. Target filled. Stop loss moved to break even. And our EMA is still below, right, the stop loss. So the stop loss really can't do anything right now. All right, there we go. So now the EMA actually equals our entry price. And on this next bar, it should move up a little bit. And there we go. So now, as soon as the EMA, right, moves past the stop loss can now start following the EMA. And it looks like we're not going to get one more bar. I think that target's going to get hit, before another trailing app happens. Yep, okay. So all right, so a couple of key key components of this is the trigger on column, right? We're using the order status changed to monitor when that profit target is filled. All right, and then the action, that's pretty straightforward. Where do you want to move your stop loss? And so Scott is commenting here. So good. He knows how to set up a break even. Great. Good deal here. But not the trailing of the EMA 17. Because all right. So his concern was that, what happens if the EMA 17 hasn't crossed above the break even or the entry price. He doesn't want the stop loss to move backwards. Stop losses don't move backwards by default, right? The entry order and the profit targets, those can move in both directions, right? But the standard practice of a stop loss is you don't move it backwards. Otherwise, why did you even put a stop loss in place if you're just going to move it out of the way, right? So BlackBird has a built-in mechanism to prevent stop losses from moving backwards, right? You can do that. If you want, you can override that behavior, but you have to do it on purpose, So if you're just going around and building your trailing rules, you won't have to worry about your stop loss moving backwards. So if you set something up incorrectly, it's not going to move your stop loss backwards by accident, right? So if you do want to move your stop losses backwards, you have to go into the risk management and allow widening of a stop loss during a trade. So that's the first thing you have to do. You have to consciously enable this option, and that allows your stop loss to move backwards, or basically widen. Widening would be the correct terminology, right? And then the second thing you have to do is go into your stop loss, trailing rules, and you'll see here that the allowed movement is always set to width direction only. So you would then have to go and change this setting. So that's two settings that you have to change, right? So that really puts in a roadblock so that nobody can accidentally get their stop losses to move backwards. So back to, so the focus being on trailing the EMA 17, the only real trick was to make sure that your trigger also has a, profit target filled trigger event, so that way your stop loss doesn't start following that EMA too soon. So